Welcome, welcome. I don't have a microphone, a clip-on microphone. I'm just going to use the microphone in my phone. I'm not real happy with the quality of the microphone I purchased. I don't know if I still have the box. Let me see. Well, I don't have it here, so I can't show you the box that I have that it came in. I got two microphones and a couple of other accessories with them. And I ended up using one, oh gosh, probably about a dozen times, and then it stopped working. Just going to open up a White Claw. It's a White Claw non-alcohol. Basically, it's just soda. I love it. I mean, I don't usually drink them cold out of the refrigerator in the wintertime. In fact, I'm going to cover up with my Afghan. I get cold very easily. And this is going to make me super cold. I usually drink them just like out of the garage or something, which actually right now would probably be colder than the refrigerator. All right, let's see what we have here. I'm just going to get on my laptop so I can see what's going on a little bit easier. I don't want to do another live. I want to go to my live stream. Okay, let's see. Just hang in there with me, although there's nobody in here right now, so nobody's hanging in with me. Waiting, waiting, waiting. There we go. Actually, let's see. I wonder if I can put this here right next to my phone. That might work. I think that works. Hello to whoever's in here. Appreciate you being here. Two people. Hi. Say hi in the chat so I know you're here. Let's see. Sorry, got to do a little bit of housekeeping here. I've had this old password taped to my computer for so long, and it's like 5 or 6, maybe 7 years old. It just gets me confused when I go to log in. It's like, that is not a password anymore. That's an old one. Okay, there we go. Hi, I take it you're here because of my titillating title. Why did 3 police departments and a sheriff cover for a serial ARPIST in my hometown? Let's talk about it. We've got 11 people in here. If you don't mind, say hi so I know you're actually here. That would be awesome. If you can't say hi, I get it. Maybe you're at work or something. Now we're down to 9. Okay, I'm going to just set the stage. Hello. Thank you for saying hi. I'll just call you Mosley. Hey, Daniel. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate it. So let's see. I'm doing well, Logan. Am I better now? Thank you for letting me know. I didn't realize that using my computer would cause such a small picture on my live stream. Hey, Jacob, Daniel, hi. I'm doing pretty well. I've just been, thank you, Logan. As I have ideas for live streams, I usually don't write them down. And sometimes I just figure, oh, I'll remember that. I should do that live stream. I have lived quite a life. Hi, Vicky. Thank you for saying hi, hun. I appreciate it. I've lived a life of yes, mostly. If it's illegal or immoral, I might say no. For sure, if it's illegal. Oh, hey, Daniel. I appreciate you letting me know that it looks good. I had gone live a few minutes ago on my old Apple Mac computer. I don't even know what it is. It's so old that they can't do updates anymore. And it normally pitches a fit. It's that little ball is constantly spinning when I'm trying to type things in. Let's see. Our oil prices are about to be the lowest in decades. Jacob, are you in the US? I'm in Tennessee. We have quite low oil prices. And I know it does take a while for policies to kick in to what do you mean you can't see, Daniel? Policies that kick in, from one president to the next. But I know that Biden did some things that caused people to not want to drill for oil. Like he shut down leases, he put limits on how much oil they were allowed to pull out of the ground and all that. Oh, Texas, awesome. That's Oh, I see, Daniel. You're saying you don't see the prices coming down? For us, the prices took a dip during Trump. Not when we lived in California, because California, when prices go down, California raises taxes on the oil. Like when Trump gave everybody a federal income tax decrease, California raised their state income taxes to match the decrease that the feds gave. So that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with. Yeah, Daniel, it is a very old computer. So anyway, I'm just drinking my non-alcohol White Claw. It's funny when I'm doing ministry work with my husband, a lot of times in the summertime, it's really hot. We do drag races. When I say we do drag races, we go to drag races. And he's a chaplain and I'm his assistant. And I'll be walking around with a White Claw from 9 in the morning. I have to show people. Hi, Iceland. Oh, awesome. Thank you for visiting us, Iceland. I appreciate it. I have to show people it says non-alcohol because I shouldn't be riding around on a golf cart or I guess on our little what is that thing called? Wolverine, on our Wolverine drinking. There is, Logan. There is an alcohol White Claw. I think the original was the alcohol version. It's quite low. And I do have some of those as well. I might not have them right now, but I'll drink those if it's a real hot night. And, I've been at the disco. Just kidding. There's not enough alcohol in the world to make me dance in public. No. You're in a country near Greenland. Yes, that would be Iceland. I've got family who has been to Iceland. I would love to visit Iceland. I think that would be a lot of fun. My daughter has an employer, a former employer, who now lives in Iceland. He's a world famous photographer. I can't think of his name, but he's a very well known photographer. He's been taking a lot of pictures and video of some of your natural issues, the ice flows and things like that that are happening. Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready for the story? Let's keep this. I'm not ADHD. I'm not ADD. I'm not even caffeinated, you guys, but my brain still goes in different directions. So I'll try to stay focused. In the late 1970s, I was a teenager. I'm 63 now. My dog is over in the corner grumbling. She's really old and she grumbles in her sleep like she's not growling like in a dream, just constantly grumbling. It's like it sounds like your stomach after you eat a big old bowl of beans, that constant rumble. That's just my dog. Anyway, if you hear a weird sound, I'm not farting. She's over there grumbling. It's not me farting. If I fart, I'll admit it, and then I'll turn beet red, and you guys will all know I farted. Okay, we all do it. Anyway, in the late 1970s, I was a teenager. I grew up in a college town. We had both a junior college and a university. And of course, they were co ed. They had both been co ed for quite a while. Started out as boys only for a long time. They went co ed. A lot of girls came to our university from around the state and from around the country and from other countries. So, a lot of people. I was living in a house with my parents at one end of the block. I was going to get a paper and a pencil to show you guys. But let's say this is the block, okay? We lived here on a street at the corner and then there was a busy street right here and at the other end of the street was student housing. A lot of student housing all around. And we didn't know it, but there was a serial, I'd have to say ARPIST on YouTube, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're from Iceland, I'm using a word to cover up. Just exchange the R for the A. When I say ARPIST, So I'll put it in the chat. If you're foreign, I'm using this word. Just exchange that A and R, switch them around, and you'll know what we had. We had a serial ARPIST in the neighborhood. It didn't make the news. There were no whispers. There were no rumors. There was nothing. My mom and dad had a friend who was a judge. He was a local, I guess, Superior Court judge. I don't know. Whatever he was a judge. Not an artist, Daniel. Definitely not an artist. Tell you what he was in a while. So he had this problem in the neighborhood, but nobody knew. And what would happen is the girls would be victimized and then they would drop out of school and go home. So the problem went away, right? And it was happening for years. It was very intermittent. It wasn't like this guy wasn't there all of the time. He was just there kind of intermittent. Because there was no public awareness, nobody could really look out for it. We had the junior college girls and the university girls living in this student housing. The managers would tell the people, the girls, hey, make sure your doors are locked and your windows are closed and locked before you go to sleep at night. But he couldn't say, because we have an ARPIST who's preying on you and your classmates. He couldn't say that. So this friend of my parents, who was a judge in town, he got a hold of my parents, probably my dad, because my aunt lived with us. She was in her 20s when I was a teenager. My mom was in her 30s. And his preference was girls in their late teens to early 20s because that's what he was finding in the student housing. But if my aunt or my mom was walking alone at night, or me, I mean, me for sure, I was in his demographic, absolutely. We could be victims. So this judge told my dad, I can't say anything about it publicly, but tell Mel, and my aunt was also Mel, tell the Mels to be careful. Tell your wife to be careful. This is going on. We can't say anything about it. So you have, he told my dad, 3 police departments. The university has its own private police department. The college has its own private police department. And the city, it was a city, has its own police department and the county sheriff. And they all got together. ARPIST, yes. Oh, Daniel, your phone fixed it for you. It was like ARPIST isn't a word, but artist is a word. I think you meant to say artist. So these police departments all got together and decided they were going to keep it quiet and they were going to investigate quietly. This was the late 70s, early 80s. The reason was for money. Because none of the girls were encouraged by the police departments to really make a stink about it. They were basically told, go home to your parents. If you can't handle it, what happened to you? Go home to your parents. And I mean, I don't know the exact conversations they had, obviously. I'm not aware of anyone who was preyed upon. But according to the judge, nothing was going to be done publicly. There was no big noise being made. And it was because they didn't want moms and dads to stop sending their daughters to the college and the university. It was about money. So for, I don't even know how many years it was, the city is San Luis Obispo, California. The university is California Polytechnic University, San Luis Obispo, also called Cal Poly SLO. The college is Cuesta College. So, and the sheriff's department, obviously, well, not obviously, you guys don't know, San Luis Obispo County Sheriff. So all of these entities, at least 4, and possibly other police departments in the area knew about it, but those are the 4 law enforcement agencies that I know about who knew about this serial ARPIST preying on, I'll call them girls. I'm 63. I'll call them girls in their late teens and early 20s. And they were living this college life. They were living in these apartment complexes, and their neighbors were all around them. Hey, Iceland, you're still here. That's awesome. Thank you for letting me know. They would go to sleep if their roommates were still out. Maybe they'd leave the door unlocked, and they were leaving their windows. I've been to those apartments. So what they had was it was a big sliding window right next to the door. That was the living room. So they would just leave their window open when it was real hot at night. I don't know if they had air conditioning in the late 70s and early 80s. A lot of places didn't have air conditioning. It just didn't get that hot. Hey, Seda. I was from the town of San Luis Obispo, California, where this was happening. So as this went on for years, I wasn't allowed to just cruise the neighborhood anymore. I got a big dog to run with me. I didn't know what it was called. I had restless leg syndrome, and I used to just have to run. So I went to the dog rescue and I got a huge dog. Nice to meet you too, Seda. I'm actually in Tennessee now. I'm from California. I'm in Tennessee in the United States. So I got this huge dog to run with me in the middle of the night. And I do remember one night, it was probably 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was out walking or running with my dog, and a police car drove by real slow and I guess just watched me. I mean, I was a guy. I would have been 18, maybe 19 at that time, running with this dog. So I couldn't be as free as I had been, but I did get a big dog. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep the dog. The dog didn't like drunk people, and my parents were alcoholics. He wouldn't let them come home one night from the bar. They were too drunk. He wouldn't let them come in the house. I don't even know where he was. He must have been in the front door. I don't know. Anyway, I couldn't keep my dog. I felt so bad. So eventually, after years of this man coming around every so many days, weeks, or months, I don't even know. It wasn't making the news. Oh, the newspaper was in on it too, and so was the local television station. So the Telegram Tribune, which is now called, I think, just the Tribune in San Luis Obispo, the editors were in on the cover up. And so was the local television station, KSBY, which was an NBC affiliate station. So the TV station, the newspaper, all of the radio stations, 3 police departments, and the sheriff's department, and the apartment managers. Oh my gosh, it was this huge conspiracy of silence to make sure nobody knew there was a serial ARPIST preying on college students. So eventually, he was caught. And he was caught because I think it was you, not sororities, Logan. It was just an apartment complex. And it was a specific complex because we lived here and you go down Broad Street. At the end of Broad Street, it's now senior living. In fact, my father-in-law lived there for a few years. They bulldozed the apartments eventually and they put in senior living, way more money in senior living than in apartments and less hassle. What's my job? I'm retired, Seda. I was an actress for many years and I did other things as well, but I'm retired pretty much thanks to my age. I can't get acting work. So the uh, the apartment was right across the street. Let me move over from a grocery store. It was a truck driver. He was delivering things to the grocery store. So he would pull his rig in, and while it was being offloaded, he would walk across the street and turn doorknobs until he found one that was open or check windows and pull off a screen and climb through. I guess he didn't find any guys, or if he did, they were asleep and he just sneaked out. I don't know. He may have been he may have been chased out by guys, and the guys went to the manager and said, "Hey, there was a guy in my apartment." And the manager would have said, "Oh, okay, I'll let the police know." I don't know. I don't know how far it went. And finally, they did catch him. Like I say, they figured out 1970s, 1980s DNA wasn't a thing. I don't know where else he was doing this, but he just had to walk across the street while his truck was being offloaded. So he's gone for like what? Half hour, 45 minutes. He comes back, gets in his truck, drives away. Everything's gone. No cameras, of course, 70s and early 80s, no cameras, no cell phones, no nothing, no personal computers. I mean, oh my gosh, you had to go to the library to get on a computer if you could even do that. It was crazy back then. So for money, due to finances, due to money, the police departments and the sheriff's department, I would say they pressured the apartment managers to keep their mouths shut. I don't know how many victims there were. I just know that there were enough that had their lives most likely ruined. I mean, at least that chapter of their life was ruined. I don't know how it affected them moving on into their life. But the fact that 4 law enforcement agencies, at a minimum, knew about it and covered it up is disgusting. And that's why I'm naming everything. San Luis Obispo City knew about it. Their police department knew about it. San Luis Obispo County knew about it. Their sheriff's department knew about it. California Polytechnic State University San Luis Obispo Police Department knew about it. Cal Poly SLO knew about it. The Mustangs knew about it. Cuesta College, the Cougars, their police department knew about it. The apartment managers knew about it, and they all kept their mouths shut. And girl after girl after girl was being victimized by a predator because they all had money in mind. They wanted all of those girls to go to school there, buy their books, buy their apparel at the El Corral bookstore where I worked for years. Oh my gosh. I think 4 generations of my family worked at the El Corral bookstore on the Cal Poly campus. I might be the only one that worked on the Cuesta College campus, but I also worked there. I don't know, my aunts might have worked on the Cuesta College campus. So maybe 2 generations worked on the Cuesta College campus. Anyway, that was the cover up. Now I live in Northeast Tennessee, and there's a city nearby that had a serial ARPIST, and they were covering for him for years, and he has dozens of victims, including children. And the police department in that city, and I'm trying to remember, you know what? I don't want to name the city because I'm not 100% positive what city it is. I could Google it right now on my computer, but I don't want to go away so far and get kind of caught up in the weeds. He actually also had people help him escape from a van when he was being transported as a prisoner. This guy had power. He was very wealthy, and he actually had people backing him up. So I'm hoping that the women involved in all of that, I mean, there was an FBI agent who got in trouble because the local police department was working against her, and she was trying to solve this crime, this guy, what he was doing, and she actually got in trouble. So this police department in this local city here went after an FBI agent who was brought in to try to solve the problem of this serial ARPIST who was drugging and assaulting women in his loft. I don't know. I think he's finally in prison. I think he's finally locked up. But a lot of people helped him for a long, long time. Makes me really mad. But anyway, San Luis Obispo in the 1970s, 1980s, not a very good place to be a college student if you were a girl, because all they cared about was your money. and they didn't care about your mental health, your physical health, and your safety. I knew. In fact, I worked and put up my map over here and across the street was a little restaurant. And then the grocery store was down here a little ways. There was an entrance to the apartment complex here, right across the street from the apartments. There was from the grocery store, there was a little entrance, but right up here on the corner was a restaurant. And I worked at that restaurant and I closed it many nights. And my car door didn't lock. And I don't know why we didn't fix that. I would close the restaurant by myself. The cook was already gone. Once he got everything cleaned up, he was gone. I had money in a bag that I had to take directly to the bank and do a deposit, and then I would go home. That was when I was closing. I would take my car, and I was terrified every night because he had not been caught yet. I would have been 19 when this was happening. So 83, 82, 83, something like that. Or I would walk to work if I wasn't closing. I would just walk to work. It was only a block. And then I would call my parents before I left the restaurant and say, I'm leaving work. If I'm not home in 30 seconds, come looking for me. And I would run as fast as I could to get home because I knew there was a man in the neighborhood who was preying on girls and young women. And I was in his demographic. That was horrible. I don't know why my dad didn't just come and get me. Maybe he was in a bar. I don't know. My parents were both drinking at the time and they spent a lot of time in bars. But actually, no, if I was calling the house, they were home. Maybe he was just too far gone to drive, but he could have walked. He could have walked. I mean, honestly, he could have walked out. He could have walked halfway up. I could have met him halfway down. I mean, things could have been done. I shouldn't have had to be scared every time I left work. I mean, seriously, called my parents and then ran as fast as I could to get home in in 30 seconds. That was crazy. That was a horrible time in my life, knowing there was somebody out there and knowing I was in his demographic. Okay, story time is over. Did I answer my question? Why did 3 police departments and a sheriff cover for a serial ARPIST in my hometown? Money and reputation. Money and reputation. Hopefully, I've ruined their reputation with this video, although I doubt it. I don't have very many followers. There really haven't been very many of you in my chat here today. So I don't know. I don't think Cal Poly's reputation will be ruined by something that happened a long time ago, very long time ago. But maybe if some of the women this happened to see this, maybe they'll know that it wasn't their fault. I mean, obviously, locking doors and locking windows is important. But if you grew up in a safe place, why would you think about something like that? If I hadn't have grown up in that neighborhood, I wouldn't have thought about something like that. Locking doors and locking windows wouldn't be so important to me. Now, whenever my husband is gone, if my big dogs aren't home with me, I lock everything. And I've got my big dog, Jaja, with me. You can see videos of her. In fact, I just posted a short video of her last night. You can go look at that. She's a very casual girl, but she's a livestock guardian dog. She's an Akbash, Great Pyrenees mix with something else in her. We're not sure what. And she's very protective. I am her human, and she is very protective of me. So I don't always lock the back door when I'm home with my dogs. But when I go to bed at night, I lock my doors. I almost always have my sidearm within reach. I've got a 380 Smith & Wesson semi-automatic bodyguard. I think I said that kind of awkwardly, but I do have a sidearm that I either have in my holster on my hip, which would not be comfortable right now on the couch curled up with my blanket, or I have it very, very close to me. Not because I plan on something bad happening to me, but because I grew up for probably 5 or 6 years of my life. There was a man preying on young women in our neighborhood. So that it embedded something in my brain and it made me aware in a way that a lot of people are not aware. And I'm happy for that, but also not. Nana, packing some heat. Yes, Dan, hello. Thanks for coming in. Nice to see you. Yeah, I pack heat. Although back in the day when I was just a kid, I was just mean. I didn't really have much going for me as far as weapons go. I was a fighter. My girlfriend and I, when we were, what, 13, 14, 15, we used to kickbox, but not because we actually went to a kickboxing studio. It was just we enjoyed fighting. She and I both enjoyed fighting. We loved fighting, and we used to fight. And we never went for the face, but from the neck down, game on. And she and I would just beat the crap out of each other for fun. I don't know, man. It's something about growing up being beat up by horses and cows and sheep and chased by roosters and all that. It just gets in your blood, I think. I don't know. Larry, hello. Nice to see you. You missed the whole part about the serial ARPIST in my neighborhood, but you can go back and watch it. Being young was fun. You know what? I thought martial arts would be fun when I was a little bit older, and I had a boyfriend, and he and I were bodybuilders. He was he was psycho. I didn't know he was psycho till it was almost too late. But anyway, I think we took karate. I think we took a karate class, and I'll just say I was large busted as a young woman. Not so much now. I've had 3 kids, things change. But anyway, I was large busted. And my boyfriend was not who the guy there in the studio put me with. He put me with a gentleman. And when it came time to do some of the hits, you're supposed to hit right here. He couldn't do it. He couldn't spar with me. He couldn't practice with me because he had been raised to never hit a woman. So I went to one class and I realized, well, this isn't going to be any good. If all he's doing is letting me beat him up, that's not fair. Can't do that. Oh, Larry, I wouldn't know how to fight anymore either. I do watch some of those videos where I don't know if she's an Israeli woman. I'm not sure. She looks Middle Eastern. She teaches people how to get out of certain situations, like someone coming at you from behind. So one night I was watching her video and I was trying to figure out how it would work. Actually, I think it was grab by the throat in front, and you're supposed to come up under and come out and then do something. I don't know, whatever it was. I watched it a couple times and I says, "Hey Dave, you got a minute?" He goes, "Yeah, what do you want?" I said, "Can you come in here and grab me by the throat?" He said, "What? What are you talking about?" So I told him there's this move I want to practice. So he came out, he was in the kitchen, he came out into the living room and he grabbed me by the throat. Both hands on my throat, and I did the thing so I could practice it. I thought that was fun. Nobody's going to grab me by the throat, okay? Nobody's going to grab me by the throat. But if they do, most likely I'm going to reach for my bodyguard. I'm not going to, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Godfather, I generally conceal carry. I don't open carry, so people don't know I'm armed when I'm armed. I think for someone small like me, it's important to not advertise that I'm carrying because I could be, I mean, it wouldn't take much to just hit me in the side of the head and, grab my little, my little bodyguard out of my holster. I like to have it covered up. So I wear big shirts. Let's see what's going on. Um, what? Whoa, Dan, I got to go back and read that. I was 4 years old watching Bruce Lee videos. And I swore I was a beast. Well, my dad signed me up for class. You were 4 years old. We have to remember this. He was only 4 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Got your outfit. Oh, how fun was that? You sat Indian style, but you had to pee, and he wouldn't let you go. Never tell a 4-year-old he can't go pee. Hmm. I'm sure you cried all the way home. Oh, you poor thing. Pee stories are damaging. See, is that your biggest 4-year-old memory? I mean, like, seriously, a lot of people don't have a lot of early childhood memories. Hey, Logan, you're back in the chat, dude. No, I did when I was in California, I had a CCW. Yes. I carry concealed in my house and at my ranch. That's generally where I carry. I didn't get my CCW. I'm taking a class to get my CCW, which will cover a ton of states, and I want to have that. Um, Godfather, you're a grandfather to a Larry. Cool. Yeah, getting my CCW in California was fairly simple. We had a really friendly sheriff where I lived, and he was big on it. And it was good because I used to go gold prospecting at a claim up in the mountains by myself. I just brought my little speckled dog Victoria with me, and we camped in the back of my truck. I slept with a shotgun, and then all day when I was out working on the claim, I always had my sidearm on my hip, always. And it was open carry at the claim for sure. You're oh yeah, but you left the chat, Logan. You left the chat, man. One of your biggest memories in your youth, Dan. Yes. Oh, your mom thinks you're lying when you tell her stories? Oh. Well, y Larry, your phone will fix it for you. Your phone will fix it. Um, ARPIST was changed to artist earlier. The algorithm was like, "We don't have anything like an ARPIST," although on YouTube chat, it should know. We all use the word ARPIST. It should know already that it's a real word. Oh gosh. I had a memory, Dan, that I thought I was 2 or 3 years old because I do have memories from when I was 2 and I have memories from when I was 3, and they're very valid memories. I mean, I was in another country for some of them, I was flying on an airplane for some of them, I was in a hospital for some of the memories I have. My love story, my first date. Logan, I met my husband in a biker bar. How's that? We met in a biker bar. Our first actual date, we went to a hotel that had a nice restaurant, and he ordered a steak, and it was if you can picture the worst gristle you ever cut off your steak, the entire steak was that. So that's the only reason I remember our first date because he got a steak that was supposed to be really good, and it was just all gristle, and he couldn't even cut into it with a steak knife. It was really bad. He paid a lot of money for it, and I think I might have let him pay for my dinner, but I don't usually do that. I usually pay my own way. So one of the memories I have where I thought I was a toddler, I was actually 18 months old because I it was before my mom was it was about 10 years ago. I was explaining it to my mom. I explained the playground we were at, who was there, what I did, what she said, and she said, "No, you were only 18 months old when we went to that park." And I was like, "I was only 18 months old." Gristle is the best. Oh my gosh, Dan, it never goes away. It's like chewing on a gizzard. I've tried. My dogs don't even eat gizzard. Like if I give them a gizzard, they're like, that is not edible. That is not edible. Yeah, Larry, my dad used to eat the bone marrow in pork chops. He loved that little dot of deliciousness in the pork chop. It's probably the spinal fluid and the nerves and all. It was always white. Yeah, Larry, you got to see me at the racetrack. I will be hanging out a lot at the racetracks again this year. I'm going to. Did you guys know NASCAR is for sale? NASCAR is for sale. I'm hoping whoever buys it turns it back into a sport and gets rid of all the sissies that are doing whatever they're doing. NASCAR is for sale. And I don't think the ticket price is all that high. I think it's only like $1 billion. Dang. Bloody steak. You know, I cooked up some lamb the other day. It was it was pretty red, but it was so it's really good. I liked it. And I found an oyster mushroom in the goat pen. Oh gosh, a couple of weeks ago, I guess. and I kept forgetting to harvest it, kept forgetting, kept forgetting. So finally, Dave was going over there. I had already had it for the day. I said, "Please harvest that oyster mushroom." So he did. Yeah, $1 billion, Logan. You got the money? Come on now, let's get my chat together. We'll put our pennies together and come up with nothing. Nothing. I've got some debt I could add to it and make it $1,080,000. Yeah, NASCAR is definitely a faltering mess. But if you're following racing, drag racing, IHRA is buying drag strips and tracks all over. I mean, they are picking up some amazing properties. And IHRA is making a run for NHRA, and NHRA has gone the way of NASCAR. They've gone politically correct. They've gone, don't hurt anybody's feelings. They've gone completely, I'll just say it. NHRA has been pussified. They're trying to attract a demographic that is never going to watch NHRA. And they're ticking off all the people who want to watch NHRA. NASCAR's done the same thing. NASCAR is trying to appeal to people who will never watch NASCAR. And in the meantime, they're ticking off the people who have been watching NASCAR for generations. So NASCAR is for sale. If IHRA buys NASCAR, it'll come back. It'll come back in a big way because they do family stuff. I've not been to an IHRA race yet, but David sent me some videos and he tells me what's going on. Like at one IHRA drag race, at some point, they brought out a bunch of bull riders and they had a bunch of bull riding going on. And if it's a motorcycle drag race, well, actually, they do cars and motorcycles. It's very similar to NHRA, but they bring in the clowns. They make it a family friendly event, and it's more inexpensive than NHRA. Way less expensive. I go to one NHRA event a year. That's when it's at my local track at the Thunder Valley in Bristol, the Bristol Dragway. That's the only NHRA event I go to, and I go there as a volunteer. I don't go there as a spectator, so I don't necessarily see a whole lot that's going on. F1, you know what? It's been, what did I go see? Yeah, too expensive. A lot of those are too expensive to watch, Dan, or to go to live. The fact that I go to these, I don't have to pay. I think I paid for one event last year. It was a world shootout over in North Carolina. And I took my grandchildren and Dave had taken one with him in the motorhome to help him out with stuff as a volunteer, so he didn't have to pay. But I took the other two over for the day, and I think I paid, I don't know, $50 or $60 for the three of us to get in, and then it was rained out. Cheers. I think I'm going to need one with alcohol in it to handle that one. So that was a bummer. I don't know if there are going to be any world shootouts this year. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't think they're on Dave's schedule. Dave has AMRA and IHRA on his schedule. He's going to be doing a lot of traveling starting, I think, in March. And it goes all the way through October, I think. We'll be down in Belrose, Louisiana at No Problem Raceway for their opening. Yeah, Dan, it did suck. I mean, I got to go around. I got to see one of the Pro Fuel pilots that I used to weigh in which series was he in? He was in AMRA. Why isn't he running anymore? I didn't see him at all in AMRA or AHDRA at all last year, but I did see him at the World Shootout. And I was looking forward to seeing him race. Nobody raced. It was this constant like foggy drip. And then it would kind of go away a little bit and they'd start to clear the track and then it would just kind of start again. It was real heavy, real heavy. Uh, we Dan, we don't travel November, December, January, February. We're like 8 months out of the year he travels. Sometimes it's back to back. In fact, one of the races, he's going to miss the IHRA drag race because he has to be at an AMRA race. They're on the same day. Logan, I enjoy the people. I I'm starting to get a feel for it. I used to really enjoy racing when I was younger, and I was dating someone. I already told you, Cuckoo, when we were going to go to karate class when I was bodybuilding with. He had a couple of Ferraris, he had a Pantera, he had fast cars. And so we would go to races. And one of the races I went to was the Long Beach Grand Prix. I enjoyed that a lot. I didn't enjoy being in the Ferrari tent with all the Ferrari owners because I was only 20 with my boyfriend, and it was a very cliquey group of millionaires in there. And I did not fit in. I was very working class. I didn't fit in at all. You're right, Dan. We got to all go buy our tickets, put all the money together, and we'll buy NASCAR. That would drive me crazy, owning NASCAR. Oh, God. I mean, there's been so much stuff go down with NASCAR in the last few years. It's, we have a track nearby. We used to live 3 minutes away from the track by car, not by walking. And the campgrounds all around were full. The grocery stores were elbow to elbow with mostly men buying beer, a lot of beer. Oh my gosh. Now you don't hardly even notice it. Our town used to go from just, I don't know, 20,000 people to 120,000 people overnight. You barely notice it. You barely notice more traffic. The campgrounds are mostly empty. The hotels aren't full. The seats are not even close to being full. It is, and that's at Bristol. That's at the Bristol Motor Speedway. It's definitely changed. And you can't say it's all the economy. It can't be. It can't be all the economy. The vendors aren't making the sales they used to make. It's just ugly. It's really been ugly the last few years. We have 2 races a year in this city. And the last one, I didn't even know they were in town. I wasn't down at the track. I used to volunteer during the races, so I was down there the whole time. But for the last year plus, I have not been down there. Oh gosh, it's only 1 o'clock. Wow. And I don't even notice. I don't notice more traffic on the road. I don't notice more people in the grocery stores. I mean, I'm sure they're there, but I'm not noticing it. You can't really tell. So I know NASCAR is Dan, work is what pays the bills. That's what it is. Or it's the lottery. I don't know. It's been so long since I bought a lottery ticket, I wouldn't even know how. I've never bought like a Mega Millions ticket. It's like when I go to Walmart and use the self checkout, I shop so infrequently that I have a hard time. I don't like going shopping. I'd rather stay home or go to the ranch and just hang out and be with my critters and let the world come to me. I know Dave loves to shop, so it works out. If we both hated shopping, we wouldn't have much. It would be like, what's for dinner? I don't know what's in the refrigerator because there's nothing in the cupboards and there's nothing in the freezer. It would all be empty. I do not like to shop at all. Although I did buy this blouse brand new at a discount store, still had the tags on it. $1. $1. The pants I'm wearing are a pair of jeans. They're Harley Davidson jeans. I got them when I was in Sturgis one year during Bike Week. Ah, got that hair out of my mouth. They were seconds. It became obvious as I wore them more and more. 2010, I bought the jeans I'm wearing, and I still have them. I have 2 pairs. I bought 2 pair because there wasn't enough room in my saddlebags for more than 2 pairs of jeans. They were $20. In 2010, I bought 2 pair. Wish I'd bought 4, but I didn't have room in my saddlebags for more jeans. Usually when I travel on the motorcycle, I end up going I'll go to a thrift shop before we leave, and I'll buy a bunch of clothes that fit and work for the weather, and then I'll wear them on the bike for a day and then leave them in the hotel room when we leave, and then I'll do the same the next day, and then as we're traveling, I know we're going to stop at different places. I'll pick up stuff on a clearance rack to wear. So that's usually how I travel on the bike. I don't wanna have to go to a laundromat. I don't wanna have to, uh yeah, I don't wanna have to go to a laundromat. So I just leave stuff behind and, buying 2 pairs of jeans for $20 a pop 15 and a half years ago, that's a good deal, man. These jeans, I think they might last a full 20, although they're kind of starting to fall apart. I do think when I'm wearing them now, I think, I wonder if I should bring a sweater in case I rip the seat out of them because the denim is getting pretty thin. What if I bend over and the whole seat just rips out? I mean, there's no fixing them. There's absolutely no way to fix them. Once they rip, they're done. Every time I wear them out in public, I wonder, is this the day the seat of my pants rips out? It's coming. It's definitely on its way. They are not Levi's, Logan. They're Harley Davidson. That's the brand. I was at work one night. I used to work at HSN down, there's a Piney Flats HSN fulfillment center, and I used to work there in returns. And I was chatting with I guess she's called a lead. I don't know, whatever. She's one step above me. My boss kept telling me, please come here full time so I can promote you to lead. And I'm like, I don't want that. Why would I do that? Anyway, I was talking to her one night and we were talking about something, and she's a biker. She has a Harley. And I said something about my bike. She goes, you ride? Because I'm a little old lady, right? And I showed her my jeans. I go, yeah, I ride. And I showed her my Harley jeans. Yeah, I ride. Probably ridden a lot more than she has. But anyway, I ride my own. I don't like to be a passenger. Here's to not being a passenger on a Harley. I'm a terrible passenger. I do ride on the back of the Road King. The Road King has a sidecar on it. Sometimes Dave takes it. You remind me of a Harley in Hawaii. You saw a Harley in Hawaii. They do have a dealership. My husband has a shirt from it. He didn't go there. My oldest daughter went there and got one. Oh, a Katy Perry song. Ew. Katy Perry, the astronaut? Oh my goodness. That's funny. Anyway, I used to have a video of me in here. I wonder if I still have it. You guys, there might be a video of me on one of our Harleys that was used in a movie that never happened. It was we were shooting the trailer for a movie. I played the lead female, forget the name. And the movie never happened. A lot of things came between, the time of the concept and the time of the actual filming. And I got out of the project because it was looking a little scary. The producer wanted to save money by doing a guerrilla shoot in Mexico because that's a good idea. He wanted to haul all the equipment, the motorcycles, the actors, everybody down to Mexico and do a guerrilla shoot in Mexico. And I said, I'm out. Find another actress. I'm out. And I kept telling him, you need an actress who can act, and then you need a body double who can ride the motorcycle. And he didn't understand why. And I said, motorcycles crash. If your lead actress crashes her motorcycle, you're going to have to rewrite the whole script. It'll be a hospital scene from then on out. Yeah, he wasn't a very ethical. Here's another thing he said. There's a scene in the movie where the motorcycle crashes and burns. This was his idea. And this is when Dave heard it and he said, that's fraud. And I said, yeah, that was actually what told me to get out. My first movie name. First movie where I had lines was called Damn California. DAM, as in water. Damn California. I play the emergency room doctor in that movie. Barely have any scenes. Okay, I've like one scene. I have just a few words. Damn California. It was a very prophetic movie. It was about the water wars of California and how corrupt politicians have created the water crisis in California. It was very prophetic. Anyway, oh, I don't even know where my brain was. And then I was also Logan. I was in of the movies I've been in that actually made it all the way through post production. What was that one called? The Uprising. The Uprising is on YouTube. It's about an 8-minute short video by Heather Parra, Parra. If you put in The Uprising, you have to put in Heather Parra, Parra. I play kind of a badass woman with an attitude, very physical, like an attitude. And I have one line, it's one word. Seriously, that's my line. The director gave me that line because she was impressed with my acting. And the fact that when she said, "Hey, we need more boobs," I went to the bathroom and stuffed my bra with paper towels to make it look like I had more upstairs than I do. I think she appreciated the effort. Anyway, in The Uprising, I'm wearing a rust colored tank top, pair of my Harley jeans. Pretty sure I'm wearing the Harley jeans, and I have a knife strapped to my thigh. Pretty sure. Pretty sure I have a knife strapped to my thigh. I get to fight with my girlfriend over a shotgun. Such a fun movie. Got thrown against the wall by the lead actor. Very fun. The Uprising. Then I played a supporting role in the cut. In the cut. I should be typing these. Um, First movie was Damn California. Great movie. Then The Uprising. Then Cut by Biblical Films. And then Lost Outlaw, and that was in 2021. So let's see. I think you might be able to find all those on YouTube. I don't know. I had fun. I did a lot more movies. I did one film that ended up going to the big screen, but the film we shot was to raise money to do the big film. And when they did the big film, out of all the actors in that one, they only took one of the actresses. They didn't pick me. And then the producers destroyed all evidence of their project, including my amazing work as part of the deal. They sold it to a big studio and they ended up doing the movie. I can't remember what the movie was. It kind of, yeah, Lost Outlaw was in 2021. We made it in 2020, but they released it in 2021 because I was still in California when they released it. We did the red carpet event and then no, we had a big old barbecue at our ranch for cast and crew and family. And then we all went to the theater and did the red carpet event. And that was 2021. We shot it in October, November of 2020 when I got COVID. And then it was released in 2021. It was fun, very low budget. Every project I've been on has been very low budget. But I would say 90% of the film projects I've worked on never make it out of post-production. I worked a lot of just low or no budget projects. And then I just did mostly commercials, industrials. I worked a lot in the Silicon Valley on industrial projects for I can't name any names. I sign NDAs when I go to work over there, or when I used to work over there. I did commercials. I was all over TV for a long, long time. Most of my family and friends had no idea I was an actress. It was fun. The highest pay I got, Logan, was a series of TV commercials I did for a mattress store. I'm trying to think. It was almost enough to make one mortgage payment. Maybe? I don't know. Working as a background actor in television paid really well for me because of the union rules and all the things associated with that. And when they had us on set one time for like 16 hours, that was a very good paycheck. I used to go over to San Francisco Bay Area. There's an island over there where they do a lot of shooting. Used to be a Navy yard, and now it's just big like warehouses. And they shot a TV show called Sense8, which was a freak show. But I was in, I think, 2 episodes of Sense8 as a background actress, nothing more. And I was in 2 or 3 episodes of 13 Reasons Why as background. And I was in a couple of episodes of Wives with Knives. And I was in 1 episode of Sex Sent Me to the Slammer. That one didn't last very long. That TV show didn't last very long at all, but I think I was in 1 episode of that. That was so fun. Being a background actor is a lot of fun. It really is. They still feed you, and there's a lot of downtime. I worked with a lot of the same actors, and we kind of form a little bit of a club, and it becomes really fun. And I try not to be cliquey, but it becomes really fun. TV commercials pay well. Background acting pays well. I never went union. I was always on projects outside, not always. I was in another movie. Paparazzi. I was in Paparazzi. Again, background. Although I did get bumped up to featured background. I worked one-on-one with the lead actor. Oh, guy. He's from that show. Let's see, Paparazzi. I'll put that in here too. My whole scene with him got cut. Paparazzi. That was a Mel Gibson production. And I was working with, what is that guy's name? Dang it. He's from that Kevin Costner TV show that ran, it's probably still running, I don't know. And he played Beth's love interest or something. I don't know. What was his name? Anyway, I worked one-on-one with that actor in a scene. And when I went to the movies to go see it, I had been removed. Our scene was removed. That paid well. That was a long night. Dang, that was a long night. That was a union film. However, I didn't get a voucher. I've never gotten a voucher. So I don't have to join the union. Once you join the union, it's hard to find work. What I'm trying to say is it's not worth it. Rip. That's it. His name was Rip. Well, his character name is Rip. I worked with Rip in Paparazzi one-on-one. It was so much fun. It was freezing. But one of the other background actors who had connections, he found a coffee pot and he kept bringing me hot coffee. And the people around me were like, where are you getting that coffee? And I was like, he's bringing it to me. Well, how come you're so special? I have no idea, but I'm not complaining. I did have to pee. Anyway, background is fun. Working background is a lot of fun. Rip is his name. Yes. What's the actor's name? I can't look that up, but that's the guy. That's the guy I worked with one-on-one. So much fun. I just had really good mentors working with me over the decades. 2 of them wanted me to move to Hollywood and do the full-time acting thing. I didn't have it in me. I stayed outside of Hollywood, which was probably good. That's what saved me. I can't imagine moving my children to that. We grew up very country, and it was good. I wouldn't have wanted to be a full-time actress. I wouldn't mind getting on a show now, being full-time, telling Dave, hey, Who's going to take care of the animals while I'm down in Georgia filming this TV show and you're over in Maryland at a race? Just kidding. That's one of the reasons I can't get a job like that. I have a lot of animals that need to be taken care of. Okay. How's pay? What's highest pay you got? Is it enough to become a millionaire if we act in a No, Logan is not enough. I think the most I've ever made in a TV commercial was $750. I had a local one here that paid about 750, and then years ago I did a Yamaha commercial that paid about 750, but I was supposed to get 1500, and the casting agent was really mad. They cut it all in half. The production, not Yamaha, the production company cut it all in half. That was really annoying. And Dave was supposed to be in it as well. And at the last minute, they found an illegal immigrant that would work for like $400. So instead of having to pay 1500 to my husband, they decided to pay 400 to an illegal, and they gave him cash. And the rest of us had to wait for months before we finally got paid. And then it was half what we had been told we were going to be paid. Very frustrating. That production company was never welcomed in town again. But that was probably fine with them. They might not have liked doing the job. It was for Yamaha. It was fun, but I really was looking forward to the $1,500. Now, as far as background work goes, it's minimum wage. The acting unions are the only unions in the history of unions who have ever negotiated a lower wage for their workers. And they did that with the background workers. They actually negotiated minimum wage for their workers so that they could pay better for the stars. So when stars are making 30, 40, 50 million dollars on a film, background actors are getting paid minimum wage. But with overtime and other perks, it does make a decent payday. It's not great. It's not great. You can't live on it, that's for sure. No roles recently, Logan. I was in a movie here last, not this last spring, but the one before maybe. It was in between my surgeries. I was background in a film, and I don't even know the name of the film. It's just, my agent pointed us all in that direction. And it was kind of a Wild West meets vampires and werewolves or something. I don't know. I was just background. I made a costume. It was really fun. Yeah, Logan, I had some issues. I had some old lady issues. I had to have uh, partial colonectomies done 2 years in a row. I think the reason I needed it the second year is because they missed a piece of the tumor in the first surgery. So a year later, I had a huge one in there, and they got to cut that one out. So now I have even bigger scars on my stomach. I'm ugly. I'm ugly. I tell you what. You guys will be thrilled to know this Nana is not wearing bikinis anymore. Yeah, and I'm still kind of semi-recovering, I think, but everything's good. Everything's good. So I'm happy about that. All right, you guys, we've been doing this for a while. Let me see who all is in here. Thank you to those of you who gave me a thumbs up. I always appreciate those. Those do help push my live stream into other people's live feeds. 12 thumbs up. Thanks, you guys. That was awesome. All right. Any more questions? I guess I can answer a few questions. I'm trying to figure out this password that I took off my computer a little while ago. I can't imagine. I don't even remember using it. I have a book where I keep all my passwords. I'm sure that the hackers have all my passwords. I should just get a hold of them. I should put a little thing out into the world. Please tell me my passwords. These scammers from India, Pakistan, let's see, Ukraine, Nigeria. Oh, guy, they can send me back the information for my passwords. Yeah, we've had your password for 10 years. You should change it. Well, anyway. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for being here. I will do another live when I can. I generally go live when Dave is gone because when he's here, there's a lot of activity in the house, a lot of noise. He also doesn't usually know what I'm talking about. So he'll come in and go, "What are you talking about?" I don't think he knows anything about the serial ARPIST in our town when I was a teenager. I don't see how he would know. He was a teenager as well, teenager slash young man working, I don't know, going to school, working, whatever he was doing. Okay, maybe sometime I'll tell you guys about the first time I met my husband in the biker bar. It wasn't very exciting. Wasn't very exciting. I remember a guy with a ponytail. That's all I remember about him. And I remember where he was sitting. Uh, and I remember who I was talking to when he walked in and sat down. Other than that, I don't know nothing. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to finish my White Claw, and then I am going to have a hot cup of decaf because I'm starting to get a little chilled. I don't want to turn the heater up. All right, guys, God bless you. See you in the next one.